When two ships are pulling for the control of inertia, and both ships have equal power, you get nowhere by pulling at the same time. This is where baiting your opponent comes in handy by making their energy become yours. This tutorial is not for beginners. There are certain prerequisites that you are expected to understand, so please check out my channel and check the description where you will find a guide of PvP combat tutorials that will catch you up to speed. Just go do a right strafe and I'll follow you. So I'm matching you to make sure I match you, right? So here's the tug of war, we're at the speed wall, and now it's whoever got there first wins. So now the only thing that's left is boost. So the biggest thing is, right, if let's pretend we're both boosting so we still have more energy and we're still pushing left. Why am I gonna spend energy to get around you when you're putting so much energy in that direction? All I have to do is let go of my left strafe a little bit and you immediately start going to my left. So, and I'm space braking to cause the simulation of the effect, because obviously we're at speed wall. So the theory is, right, we have all this tension, I slightly let go of that tension, and then I push on that tension again, and I do it again. So I stop the tension, push on the tension, and now I'm locked in a position that's tighter, but to your side. Most people, what they think is, if I need to get around the right, I need a right strafe, right? What happens if I right strafe? I push all the way out, and then we're back to square one. Let's go back middle. A really big thing that I like to do to a lot of players who struggle with rolls is I'll do a circle strafe, which is this, the old traditional going around them. But what I'll do is I'll cut it in half, aiming for their wingtips. So I'll come to the side and stop, because that forces you into aiming at me with your yaw, which is not beneficial. So most decent pilots will roll to get pitch. So what I do for this, what I want you to do is just roll into pitch every time. Don't worry about moving.
Okay.
What I do is I'll come to the side, forces you to roll to pitch. I'll go to the other side, forces you to roll to pitch. But see, once you know what I'm trying to do, see how you maintain your roll and keep up with me? So now what I have to do is win that tug of war again. So I'm bringing it, but then I'm stopping, and then I'm going back, because you're trying to redirect the other way now. So it's not, I can't force it once you know what I'm doing. I have to trick you.
You're in a knife fight, like, and I think Acid and Noob specifically do this to me a lot, is they'll be within like 100 to 50 meters or so, and they'll be doing what you were doing, and it'll be almost off screen for me. So rolling, like, I feel like I have to yaw at some point, like sometimes, even though I know it puts me at a disadvantage.
Sometimes yawing is okay if it's close enough of a gap, right? So like if we're here and you're just off my center a little bit, that's okay to yaw, you're right there. But you don't want to yaw something like this because it's far, and you don't want to yaw when they're pushing into your yaw, because your nose inertia cannot keep up with that orbiting inertia. And I'll show you, I'll do the circle right now, and I want you to just yaw into me. You'll see how once I establish this, like, look how hard that is to push. You can't. I'll eventually get around your ship if you try to keep doing that.
Yeah. And even if I switch to pitch, I'm still a second or two behind.
Now, yeah, now you're just behind, yeah. So I'm trying to establish your wing here. You can just go for it, don't worry about it. So right here, I got your wing. I don't want to move from here. This is perfect for me. So you're trying to roll and not allow me to stay in your yaw. Right there, I had it. And you saw how I did a quick circle. Like, all I do is a quick circle, and then I reposition. And then once I have a tight position, now I'm orbiting and locking you here with boost management. So as soon as you see it, you have to react.
Yeah. The best way to get out of it is to create some sort of extension so that you can cut the distance in which that you have to aim. But obviously the opponent's going to know that you're doing that.
Yeah, it comes down to the opponent's skill. The easiest thing is up and right strafe or up and left strafe, because it's the easiest way to just push somebody away. So I'll give you an example. If I come into your yaw here, right, what you do is you roll, and as you're rolling, you up strafe. You just want to have a little bit of a roll, maybe, just to not be a straight line, and you want to use your thrusters to push away the pip. Yeah, just like that. And see, now we're back to this where I have to now trick you into not, like, if you get enough space, I can't keep doing that to you anymore, because here, if as much as I want to do these circles back here, I'm just going to eat shots for no reason.
Yeah.
Another like really important thing is side strafes are really, really strong right now. People underestimate them. They're not the best for holding, because when you side strafe, you're forcing yourself into a yaw fight, which again in a Gladius you're trying to avoid. But they're absolutely fundamental for repositioning the pip so that you can establish a different direction of travel. Here, let's merge and we'll give it a go. See, there's tiny, tiny movements on my end. Here I see an opportunity, so I down strafe on you. Now I'm gonna cancel it because you're getting nosy. Opportunity to the left, and I go right again because you think I'm gonna keep going that direction.
It's like you're inside my head, dude. Holy shit.
Neutralize, don't waste too much energy. Up strafe, down strafe, left strafe. Once I'm low on boost, I'm gonna back strafe on you, and I'm gonna let you push for once, because I can't push all day. And now if you decide to neutralize and push me, you're gonna eat way more shots than I am. And now by the time you start getting close, now you're out of ammo, and now you're low on boost.
Yeah.
It's all about controlling the range by being patient. You cannot force positions. You have to force your opponent to want a position.
God, it's like you're giving me the keys to the castle, but I don't know what to do with them yet.
It's okay, and it's gonna take time. This is something that develops with time, with like putting in the work and practicing. But like understanding those fundamentals is what allows you to analyze your own fights and be like, oh, that's what I did wrong there. Use more side strafes. You see this position? This is a really common position. I want to show you this because like I feel like people don't move enough right here. They go into the binary circle and they stay here and they try to fish for the aim, right?
Right.
What you need to be thinking here is if I have aim, I'm gonna fish it and I'm gonna stay there because I'm comfortable.
Right.
If I don't have aim, like right here, I don't have aim. I'm not even gonna waste energy bringing my nose to you. It's a waste of time. Instead, I'm gonna wait for you to aim. And then as soon as you aim and you go to shoot, go ahead, boom, boom. And then we're in a different fight.
And now, how do you necessarily, I guess, like recognizing it's easy is because you're just like in this circle strafe that you're aim trading essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you recognize when the point in time where you would want to do that? Is it just once you start getting shot, like right there?
It's too late. If you're getting shot, it's too late. You can adjust. It will get you out of the... So I can do it, and boom, I can get out of it. But see, if you're kind of waiting, now you know it's too late already.
Right.
So you have to be preemptive about your actions. So when I push this, I know once I push into you like this, I know we're fighting for a pitch. Like that's a given. So as soon as I fight into this pitch war, I need to establish, am I in the lead or am I at a disadvantage? So right here, I have a choice to make. Do I want to push or pull, right?
Okay.
And obviously push, I neutralize, pull, I push away. So we merge, I'm at a disadvantage. I can neutralize to kind of close the gap because I don't want to get further away from you. But I have to realize that I'm giving you an easy shot. So again,
right.
I'm neutralizing when I have a safe spot, like right here. And now as soon as you're coming around, I need to shift directions or I'm going to eat shots for no reason. But after you push, you have to re-neutralize or else we're going to keep flying away. And then now I can start fighting for these orbit patterns. So your aim is good. I mean, that's why you can beat a lot of these guys is because you have solid aim.
Yeah.
The issue is you're good at controlling distance to controlling a distance that's set and not allowing it to change. Now you need to learn how to change the distance rather than just control the distance.
Okay. And then like what's like the fundamental things that, like if you were to say like you can close and extend distances, what's like is there like a step of things that you would want to do? Obviously, like it's going to be different as far as inputs go based off of like what direction down the river you're going, but...
Mm-hmm. It's impossible. I always tell people the meta for this one seems to be tight circles. So again, it goes back to doing these little tight orbit circles, but not holding it forever, because then you'll just catch up and you'll match me, and that's where you have to kind of juke and play with it. But those tight circles, once you start doing these circles, if you start to rotate your nose away just a little bit and you keep that side shift going, it lets you come to their side. So this is more about pre-nosing. So I do these tight circles. And what I'm doing is when I catch you off the inertia game, so pretend like we're both fighting for it here, and then eventually I get you with a juke, what I'm doing is, because you're so far behind, I can now start rotating my ship sideways, and I can start pointing my nose where you're gonna be rather than where you are, and kind of line me up to a better position.
Okay.
Now the thing is, what's difficult in this master modes, we used to be able to do that much faster. So now, The only way to gain that speed is by getting tight. So when we do this circle orbit, we have to come in tight to the ship, or they're going to be able to rotate on us really quickly. Let's look at a quick example of how I use this in combat.
I feel like there's a lot of times where I'm making the strafe inputs that I feel like it's deflecting, but it's not actually doing anything. What's the cause of that?
It's because you're inputting a strafe in a direction. So here, I'm gonna show you. Let's nose here. And then I want you to just try to shoot at me. Right here, I'm just performing an orbit, that's it. But see how much harder that is to hit already?
Yeah.
But because I'm doing that, try to change your direction. See how little it moves when I boost? Because I'm forcing the vector to do what I want. So my push is so much stronger than yours that there's very little movement in yours, in your pip. But it goes both ways. Because now that means if you can't move your pip, that means my pip ain't moving. But I'm okay with that because I have an inertia lead, which means a lot more of my shots are gonna land than yours. So that's why it comes down to being okay with giving up positions, right? So go ahead, do that to me. I want you to it's upright, a little bit of forward, and just aim at me with a bit of boost when you need it. So right here, I'm not gonna chase you, bro. I'm just gonna push away. And I'm gonna be like, all right, let's reset the fight. Like, I'm not gonna chase that. And then once we're back to this like distance of like 600 is still kind of dangerous. I would be trying to apply damage here. But if I can get you to 800 and I feel like you're low on ammo, right here, boom, I'll neutralize. And now I'll work on coming back close to you. And see how I kind of move these little micro movements just to close the gap without causing that separation?
Right.
And then I'll do inertia locks on you like I just did there.
Right, and then that's the point where I would want to extend and then reset.
Correct, or push. It depends if you were able to control the inertia enough or not.
Right. So in that sense, you're like looking for whether or not you have an inertia lead, and if you have the lead, you can push. And it's
if you have the lead, you're usually not pushing because you're focused on applying damage. So I fight to get the lead. Once I have the lead, I fight to hold the pattern and do as much damage as I can before you get nose back on.
Gotcha.
And then you repeat the cycle. Yeah, it's the biggest bridge gap. It's because like once this meta forces people to get good at aiming, but like you'll never be better at moving your craft around if that's all you focus on. Like, I mean, you could be a Ruby pilot, which again is like top tier pilots, right? You could be the absolute god in this game by just relying on separation, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you'll never be able to knife fight with somebody because you never put in the time for aiming that you did into movement. Before we continue, I want to touch up on ranks. If you haven't heard yet, I run a YouTube community dedicated to PvP and teaching others how to PvP. In our community, we have a structured badge system which can be earned to show how you've progressed. We also have a list of recommended orgs in the community, as joining a proper org can be a key foundation to improving at combat. Just check the description below. With that out of the way, let's get back to it.
How do you go about building the skill of recognizing which direction you need to pre-nose in when you're doing something? Because like I feel like that's my biggest problem.
Well, the easiest thing to like mentally map is in whatever direction you push your craft, the nose has to go in the opposite direction. So if I'm pushing right, I need to look left. If I'm pushing left, I need to look right. If I'm going up and right, I need to look down. So it's very mirrored. So if I know I'm going left and all of a sudden I'm going to be pushing right, I know that I need to start nosing left.
Right, and you're before you even start going right, you're going to be nosing to your left as you're going left.
Correct, and sometimes I don't, because sometimes I have such a good position that it's not worth sacrificing nose position for getting aim.
Right.
So in this model, pre-nosing is not as like needed. It's not as crucial. But there's definitely like in a close position, like right here, like sure, I can apply some damage, but I need to start thinking about getting my nose to the left if I know I'm going right, or my nose won't be able to keep up with your pip.
Interesting.
And again, that's because I'm pushing a side strafe, which forces me to yaw, right? So that goes back to like also knowing your roles So if I side strafe, I should be rolling to now get the pitch and kind of maintain that side strafe by now down strafing. All right, let's merge. So see here, I'm aim trading because I can't close that gap and I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to try to win the inertia win. And then now, see how now you're kind of pushing in? Well, now I'm going to start doing this fight.
Right.
And you'll notice my pip has like sporadic movements, but sometimes they'll be smooth like this, where it's just like a tiny, tiny bit just to inch out a little advantage. And then when I see an opening, that's when I'll do a hard dive.
Interesting.
What I always recommend is forget about winning. So you need to be okay with, I'm gonna lose this fight, so I need to stop trying to aim, and I need to figure out what he's doing to me. Find out what your left hand is doing wrong, forget aiming. Star Citizen is a difficult game, and it requires a lot of repetition. Just keep practicing, and I'll catch you on the next one.